Felix Weihs de Weldon was an Austrian-born American sculptor. His most famous pieces include the United States Marine Corps War Memorial in Arlington County, Virginia, and the Malaysian National Monument in Kuala Lumpur. Biography. Felix de Weldon was born in Vienna, Austria-Hungary on April 12, 1907. He received his early education at St. Augustin's Grammar School. In 1925, he earned an A.B. from Marchetti College, a preparatory college, for the University of Vienna's Academy of Creative Arts and School of Architecture. He earned his M.A. and M.S. degrees in 1927 and his Ph.D. in 1929. De Weldon first received notice as a sculptor at the age of 17, with his statue of Austrian educator and diplomat Professor Ludo Hartmann. In the 1920s, he joined artists' communes in France, Italy and Spain. De Weldon eventually moved to London, where he gained a number of commissions, among them a portrait sculpture of George V. A consequential trip to Canada to sculpt Prime Minister Mackenzie King brought de Weldon to North America. He settled in the United States in 1937. De Weldon enlisted in the United States Navy during World War II and was discharged with the rank of Painter Second Class. He became a United States citizen in 1945. In 1950, President Harry Truman appointed de Weldon to the U.S. Commission of Fine Arts. In 1956, he was reappointed by President Dwight Eisenhower, and again in 1961 by President John F. Kennedy. In 1959, he received an honorary knighthood for his service to the British Crown. In 1951, de Weldon acquired the historic Beacon Rock Estate in Newport, Rhode Island, where he lived until 1996 when he lost the property and most of his assets to financial hardship. Felix de Weldon died on June 3, 2003 at the age of 96 in Woodstock, Virginia, and was buried in Arlington National Cemetery. De Weldon is survived by his sons Byron de Weldon and Daniel de Weldon. Daniel is collaborating with Alan Nolasco on a biopic of his father's life titled De Weldon, the Man Behind the Monuments. Daniel will play the part of Felix during the height of his career. Work. Approximately 1,200 de Weldon sculptures are located on 7 continents. At the conclusion of the war in 1945, the Congress of the United States commissioned de Weldon to construct the statue for the Marine Corps War Memorial in the realist tradition, based upon the famous photograph of Joe Rosenthal of the Associated Press agency taken on February 23, 1945. De Weldon made sculptures from life of 3 of the 6 servicemen raising the replacement United States flag on Manshurabachi, on Iwo Jima. The other 3 flag raisers who were killed in action later on the island were sculpted from photographs. De Weldon took 9 years to make the memorial, which was dedicated on November 10, 1954, and was assisted by hundreds of other sculptors. The result is the 100-ton bronze statue which is on display in Arlington, Virginia. De Weldon also contributed in creating Malaysia's Tugu Negara when the country's first Prime Minister, Tunku Abdul Rahman, saw the Marine Corps War Memorial statue in his visit to America in October 1960 and personally met him for favor to design the monument. De Weldon was later conferred with the title Tan Sri, the Malaysian equivalent of a high-ranking knighthood. Images. Partial list of public sculpture. 1935 King George V National Portrait Gallery, London, UK. 1936 King Edward VIII Coronation Bust, London, UK. 1936 King George VI Coronation Bust, London, UK. 1938 Prime Minister Mackenzie King, Parliament Hill, Ottawa, Canada. 1938 Agnes Campbell MacPhail, Parliament Hill, Ottawa, Canada. 1938 Senator Kerryn Wilson, Parliament Hill, Ottawa, Canada. 1945 George Washington, United States Embassy, Canberra, Australia. 1948 Simon Bolivar Monument, Bolivar, West Virginia. 1948 President Harry S. Truman Bust, Truman Library, Independence, Missouri. 1949 George Bannerman Dealey Statue, Dealey Plaza, Dallas, Texas. 1949 Fleet Admiral Chester W. Nimitz, U.S. Naval Academy, Annapolis, MD. 1949 Secretary of the United States Senate Leslie Bifril, Maine Post Office, Piggott, R. 1949 John Steelman, University of Arkansas, Fayetteville, R. 1954 Raising of the Flag on Mount Shurabachi, Iwo Jima Memorial, Roslyn, VA. 1954 John Marshall Bust, College of William and Mary, Williamsburg, VA. 1954 Sir William Blackstone Bust, College of William and Mary, Williamsburg, VA. 1954 George Wythe Bust, College of William and Mary, Williamsburg, VA. 1955 Marine Monument, Austrian-born American Cemetery and Memorial, Bellewood, France. 1959 Equestrian Statue of Simon Bolivar, Washington, D.C. 1959 American Red Cross Memorial, American Red Cross Headquarters, Washington, D.C. 1961 Simon Bolivar Monument, Bedford Square, Baltimore, Maryland. 1961 Rear Admiral Richard Evelyn Byrd, Arlington National Cemetery, Arlington, Virginia. 1961 Rear Admiral Richard Evelyn Byrd, McMurdo Station, Antarctica. 1961 St. Stephen the Martyr, Church of St. Stephen Martyr, Washington, D.C. 1963 President John F. Kennedy, John F. Kennedy Library, Boston, Massachusetts. 1963 Harry S. Truman Monument, Athens, Greece. 1964 Sam Rayburn, Speaker of the House, Rayburn House Office Building, Washington, D.C. 1964 Patrick Cudahy Memorial, Cudahy, Y. 1965 Minuteman Statue, National Guard Monument, Washington, D.C. 1965 Richard Rowland Kirkland Monument, Fredericksburg and Spotsylvania National Military Park, Fredericksburg, VA. 1966 Walter Reed Sculpture, Walter Reed Army Medical Center, Washington, D.C. 1966 Abraham Lincoln Statue, Chapultepec Park, Mexico City. 1966 National Monument for Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. 1968 Sam Rayburn, Speaker of the House, LBJ Library, Austin, Texas. 1968 Sergeant York, Tennessee State Capitol, Nashville, Tennessee. 1971 Senator Bob Bartlett, Statuary Hall, U.S. Capitol, Washington, D.C. 1972 Senator Dennis Chavez, Statuary Hall, U.S. Capitol, Washington, D.C. 1973 General George Rogers Clark, Louisville, Kentucky. 1973 Seabees Memorial, Arlington National Cemetery, Washington, D.C. 1973 Benjamin Franklin, Louisville Public Library, Louisville, Kentucky. 1974 Centennial Statue, Eastern Kentucky University, Richmond, Kentucky. 1974 Florence Martyr's Statue, Morrell Park, Savannah, Georgia. 1976 Torch of Freedom, Veterans of Foreign Wars Headquarters, Washington, D.C. 1976 Admiral Ben Memorial, Father of the Seabees, Naval Base Ventura County. 1976 Archbishop John Carroll, Prince George's County Courthouse, Upper Marlboro, M.D. 1977 Ty Cobb Turner Field, Atlanta, Georgia. 1980 Mother Joseph, Statuary Hall, U.S. Capitol, Washington, D.C. 1981 Mother Joseph statue, City Hall, Vancouver, Washington. 1982 General Lemuel C. Shepard, Jr., USMC, Virginia Military Institute, Lexington, VA. 1985 William G. Leftwick, Jr., Lieutenant Colonel, USMC, Quantico, VA. 1990 President James Monroe statue, Fredericksburg, VA. 1990 Anchors Away sculpture, Intrepid Sea Air Space Museum, New York, New York. 1995 Elvis Presley statue, Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee.